Have you ever paused your day-to-day activities and pondered on what life would be like if our Earth was flat? An intriguing question, isn't it? Now, before we dismiss this as some modern-day conspiracy theory, let's take a step back in time. The idea of a flat Earth isn't some fresh, new concept pulled out of a hat. It's a belief that traces its roots back to our ancestors. Ancient civilizations like those of the early Bronze Age and Iron Age held the belief that the Earth was a flat disk. They viewed the world as a flat plain or disk surrounded by an oceanus, a giant circular river. Ancient cultures from the Egyptians to the Chinese all had their own versions of a flat Earth. However, as we moved into the classical period, the Greeks started challenging this notion. Philosophers like Pythagoras and Parmenides started advocating for a spherical Earth. By the time of Aristotle, the spherical Earth theory was widely accepted in Greek culture, a view that eventually influenced the rest of the world. But let's put history aside for a moment and look at the modern proponents of a flat Earth. According to the Flat Earth Society, they believe in a model that presents the Earth as a disk, with the Arctic Circle in the center and a 150-foot tall wall of ice, the Antarctica, surrounding the rim. In their view, gravity doesn't pull downwards, but rather outwards, and the up and down concepts are based on the density of objects. It's a perspective that challenges our accepted understanding of the world, our science, and even our day-to-day experiences. It's a perspective that, despite being contradicted by centuries of scientific evidence, continues to find followers. Now that we know what our ancestors thought and what flat earthers today believe, let's dive into the scientific implications of a flat Earth. These implications are fascinating to consider, not just for the sheer novelty of the idea, but also for the profound ways they would alter our understanding of the universe and our place in it. Imagine a world where gravity behaves differently, where the sun and the moon hover above us in a different manner. This is the world we would inhabit if the Earth were flat. Gravity, as we understand it, pulls everything towards the center of mass. In a spherical Earth, this means all things are drawn towards the Earth's core. But if the Earth were flat, gravity would behave quite differently, pulling everything towards the center of the disk. This could mean that walking towards the edge would feel like climbing a steep hill, a constant uphill battle against gravity. Now, consider the sun and the moon. On our spherical Earth, their movements give us our days, nights, and seasons. They rise and set due to the Earth's rotation. But on a flat Earth, they would need to hover above us, circling the sky like a spotlight. This could lead to some peculiar effects on our climate and time zones. For instance, the center of the disk might experience perpetual daylight, while the edges plunge into eternal darkness. And what about navigation? We have long relied on the Earth's spherical shape to navigate our world. The North and South poles serve as fixed points to guide us. But on a flat Earth, these poles wouldn't exist as we know them. This could make navigation a much more daunting task. Similarly, our satellite technology, which relies on the Earth's gravity and shape, would have to be radically reimagined. Satellites, instead of orbiting the Earth, might need to hover in a fixed position above the disk, making global communication and weather forecasting a significant challenge. Indeed, the scientific changes would be vast and profound, but what about the geographical changes? Imagine looking at a map, not as a sphere but as a flat surface. The world as we know it would look vastly different. This isn't just a matter of squishing a globe onto a piece of paper. We're talking about a complete reshaping of our planet. Land masses and oceans would be dramatically distorted. Continents, once comfortably nestled next to each other on a spherical Earth, would suddenly find themselves stretched out and skewed. The Pacific Ocean, once a vast blue expanse, could become a sprawling, distorted mass of water, with its size and shape grossly exaggerated. This isn't merely a cosmetic change. Travel routes and distances would be drastically altered. A direct flight from New York to London, for instance, would no longer be the quickest route. Instead, pilots might find themselves navigating a convoluted series of zigzags to reach their destination. The impacts would extend beyond our travel plans, influencing environmental patterns as well. Weather systems, which currently travel in a circular pattern due to our planet's rotation, would instead follow a straight path. This could result in extreme weather conditions, with hot, dry deserts and freezing polar regions becoming even more inhospitable. A flat Earth would definitely make for an interesting geography lesson, but how would it affect our society? If our Earth was flat, the way we live, travel, and interact would be drastically different. Imagine jet setting from one point to another on a flat Earth. The flight paths would be entirely different, often shorter, as we wouldn't be circumnavigating a sphere but traversing a plane. But it's not just about the distance. The concept of time zones would be upended, altering our perception of day and night, and reshaping our societal norms and routines. Climate would also be significantly impacted. Our current climate zones are due to the spherical shape of the Earth and the angle at which sunlight hits different regions. On a flat Earth, these zones could be dramatically altered, leading to profound changes in agriculture, wildlife, and human living conditions. But what about our relationship with the cosmos? Space exploration as we know it would be turned on its head. The laws of physics that govern our space travel are based on spherical celestial bodies. A flat Earth would call into question our understanding of these laws and potentially limit our ability to explore the universe. And let's not forget international relations. Borders, territorial disputes, and global navigation would all be affected, potentially reshaping political landscapes and alliances. It's fascinating to imagine a flat Earth, but for now, let's appreciate our spherical world and continue to explore its wonders.